Happy Wednesday, television family. Good to see you again. It's the middle of the week. It's the middle of the month. It's the 13th day of May, 2020. And it's down the road we go for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Lots of good stuff for you today. Lots of news. It's amazing that Eric Grindstrom, our award-winning sports director, can still crank out sports when there's no sports, but he's doing yeoman's job there. We'll take a look at sports. The forecast isn't looking too bad at all today. In fact, what you see outside right now are behind me is pretty much what we're going to have all day today. Quite a bit of sunshine, a little residual wind, some late afternoon rain possible. We do have a chance for some thunderstorms, by the way, an increasing chance of some thunderstorms on Thursday, and then again on Sunday. We'll give you those details coming up here in just a little bit. But again, it's still very, it's a weather smorgasbord. It's very active weather. It's what we're used to in the middle of May. Complete forecast details are coming up. Had a chance to check in with Alan Walker, my good buddy Alan Walker, who's the executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. They have been on the front lines on the local fight against COVID-19, specifically helping those people who need a little help, unexpected help in many cases, since this whole thing went cattywampus about 2 months ago. We had a chance to check in with Alan via Skype yesterday. We'll play that for you today. As you know, we're practicing social distancing, not only here at the broadcast Metroplex, but also in our interview segments on this program. We're doing them all remotely via Skype, trying to avoid too many people in any one room at any one time. It's just common sense. It's the way you need to do things for the foreseeable future, it looks like. Anyway, lots of stuff to get to. Thanks for starting your day with us. At 2 minutes after the hour, it's 52 degrees, sunshine. Let's take you around the valley and see what we got on our Valley View cameras. Beautiful view this morning. Sun crept over the East Wenatchee bench at 5:26 in the a.m. It will set behind the Wenatchee foothills at 8:29 in the p.m. And if my math is correct, that means 15 hours and 3 minutes of daylight. Pretty interesting weather yesterday, and this is a pretty good indication of how active and how things can change. Yesterday's high was 68 degrees, and normally we talk about an afternoon high. That high temperature of 68 degrees as measured at Pangbourne, and this is important, 68 degrees at 11:15 in the morning. And then it got gradually cooler. Pangbourne got 0.09 inches of rain at Pangbourne. Down here on the valley floor, I don't think we got any rain at all. And not too far to the north of us, Omak is what, about 100 miles to the north of us, right around there, maybe 150 miles to the north of us. Omak had 0.35 inches of rain yesterday. That was a new record for May 12th up in Omak. In fact, Omak had more rain yesterday than the Wenatchee Valley has had all spring. That's how things can get strange from Mother Nature's perspective this time of the year. Good morning, Wenatchee. Good morning, East Wenatchee. Good morning, Sunny Slope. Good morning, Badger and Birch Mountain. And good morning to all people out there who are watching us on this Wednesday. From this point forward, Megan throws the camera up, and I guess what we're looking at, that's the Rock Island camera. That's a no-brainer. Good morning to our friends in Rock Island. Have not played the Rock Island Golf Course yet this year. We went out to Clockham Ridge a week ago because I like to walk when I golf. And Clockham Ridge is a good starting walking course if you haven't walked all year, because your golf muscles have a tendency to atrophy. And so if you're going to walk and play golf, we played Clockham Ridge because it's pretty flat, but that's a very walkable golf course. It's also one of my favorites. Good morning, Rock Island. Good morning, Columbia River. And good morning to everybody to the southeast of us. Camera number 3. Let's pay a visit to Blag Mountain. Beautiful view. Good morning, Leavenworth. How you doing up there? Very high up. Look at that incredible view. Just stunning. You expect to see Julie Andrews in a nun's habit come waltzing out and start singing "The Hills Are Alive" at the sound of music. Oh, now I have to pay Rogers and Hammerstein 5 cents. Oh well. Good morning, Blag Mountain. A little breezy up there, isn't it? See the wind blowing around up above a beautiful Peshastin, Washington. Gorgeous view there. Good stuff, Megan. Camera 4. Can't wait for this one. Let me think. I'm thinking maybe Bear Mountain. Hey, the Bear Mountain camera near the Bear Mountain Golf Course. Not a particularly walkable course. Some of the golf courses you just have to take a cart. There's just no other way around it. I mean, you can't walk really like Desert Canyon. It's just there's a couple of holes where it's a quarter of a mile between the green and the tee. By the time you get to like the third hole, you're exhausted. Good morning, Lake Chelan. Of course, the lake is down still, but it's still beautiful. And it looks like they have a few more clouds to the north of us than we have here in the Wenatchee Valley. But pretty much everybody's going to have some sunshine today. We're going to call it partly sunny skies. Partly sunny, partly cloudy. we have a fairly decent forecast coming up. But again, it's going to be all over the map as we transition from our cameras around the valley to the forecast. A couple of slides sent to us from the National Weather Service, and now we're sending them to you. First of all, we want to talk about the possibility of some thunderstorms this week. For the valley proper, the best chance for us to get some thunderstorms going to be on Thursday and then again on Sunday. Those are the two best chances for us here in the valley and in the north central Washington area. They're not anticipating strong storms or severe storms. The main threat for the possibility of thunderstorms on Thursday afternoon and on Sunday afternoon during the warmest part of the day, the biggest threat would be lightning, not necessarily wind or rain or anything like that, but we cannot rule out the possibility of a thunderstorm. Again, for the Wenatchee Valley, our best chance will be tomorrow afternoon and then again on Sunday afternoon. And as you might imagine, the rivers are rising as the snow continues to melt. We got pretty normal spring weather, so keeping a very close eye on the Okanagan River near Tenasket, which could be near flood stage by the end of the week, and the Stehekin River at Stehekin, which could be close to flood stage by the end of the week. Of course, lots of snow melt up in the British Columbia area. It's got to go somewhere. So again, the Okanagan River, where it flows through Tenasket, could be near flood stage by the end of the week, and the same deal with the Stehekin River up in Stehekin. So the snowpack continues to melt. I wanted to give you a quick heads up on that. All right, Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug. They also sponsor the weather forecast from the National Weather Service. Mixture of clouds and sun today. We'll climb up to about 71 degrees. Very little chance of precipitation. And all in all, not a bad day. That 71 degree mark, just about normal for this time of year. Slight chance of some light rain tonight. Outside of that, fairly cloudy. Clouds will be thickening up overnight. We'll get down to 50 for the overnight low. And then we're talking maybe some lightning on Thursday, certainly Thursday afternoon. Are we going to see some showers? Yeah, it looks like it. 70% chance of some showers. No big rain. You don't have to go out and build an ark. But we're going to get wet. And again, late afternoon thunderstorms between 1 to sunset is a possibility with some lightning, and we'll top off at about 67 degrees. Good chance of much needed rain tomorrow. Well, we're keeping a very close eye on the possibility of a thunderstorm or maybe even some lightning late in the afternoon during the warmest part of the day. 48 for the overnight low Thursday night under cloudy skies. Friday we catch a break. Weak ridge of high pressure is not going to be hanging around very long, but it's going to hang around long enough to give us some beautiful weather. 73, but lots of sunshine on Friday. The golf course beckons. 48 for the overnight low. And now we take you to the weekend. Saturday, lots of clouds, no rain, no thunderstorm, just no sun. It'll be taking the day off. 72 for the high on Saturday, 53 for the overnight low on Saturday night. Sunday, another chance of rain, another band of showers coming our way. It's going to happen overnight Saturday night into Sunday. The chance of rain Saturday night and Sunday is at about 80%. So we are going to get some more rain. And again, late afternoon thunderstorms on Sunday is a possibility. So if you get caught in a downpour, it could be some pretty heavy rain. But the big concern from the National Weather Service, again, for Thursday and for Sunday, when we talk about thunderstorms, it's lightning is the real concern there. Sunday night, mostly cloudy. The rain will be hanging around a little bit. We'll dip down to 48. We're back at it on Monday with lots of clouds, some light rain, high of about 70. Lots of sunshine Tuesday and a high of about 73. All of those afternoon high temperatures and all of those overnight lows that you see there, pretty much right around normal for the middle of May. But as you can see, we have everything there. We got partly cloudy, mostly cloudy. We got sunny. We got the possibilities of thunderstorms. We got the possibility of some scattered light rain. We got it all over the next 7 days. So that's taking a look at what Mother Nature has in store for us. It's 9 minutes after the hour. Going to take a quick 1 minute break and come back with your Wednesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Pass along a smile today. Buy a box of chocolates for a friend or for yourself from Chocolat. Order online and pick up locally, or Chocolat ships almost anywhere. For your cheesy cravings, the Cheesemonger shop is open. Call ahead, stop in, or order online and they will ship. Everyone say Cheesemonger shop. Sage Mountain Natural Foods and Deli in Leavenworth is open for all your nutritional needs, supplements, bulk foods, produce, and more. Call now for more information and hours of operation.
We're back at it 11 minutes after the hour, 52 degrees, quite a bit of sunshine. Sun for the most part today, a few passing clouds. Highs in the lower 70s, and then we're talking the possibility of some thunderstorms, certainly some widespread rain coming our way on Thursday. Here's what's making headlines. Governor Jay Inslee unveiled a statewide plan for contact testing of COVID-19 cases. He did that yesterday afternoon. It's going to utilize the National Guard, State Department of Licensing, and state and local health care professionals. Those officials will identify people who have had contact with someone who has tested positive for the coronavirus, with both the infected person and the people on their contact list facing mandatory quarantine. Under the governor's plan, anyone who tests positive for the coronavirus will be quarantined for 14 days, as will everyone in their household. And anyone who has had contact with that person will also be quarantined until they have tested negative, even if they have not tested positive or shown symptoms. Inslee said the ability to aggressively test and trace COVID-19 cases is the next step in reopening much of the state. A Wenatchee police officer failed to inform a suspect he was under arrest before questioning him, and so the State Court of Appeals threw out his conviction for drug possession. The higher court says Officer Albert Gonzalez handcuffed suspect Kenneth Stevens during a 2017 shoplifting investigation, read him his Miranda rights, and questioned him. When Stevens admitted to the crime, Gonzalez announced he was arresting him, and in a ruling on Monday, the higher court said that's not the typical order of how investigations and arrests are supposed to happen. A jury acquitted Stevens of stolen property charges, but they convicted him for a small amount of methamphetamine that Gonzalez found during the arrest. The appellate court decision reverses that conviction and dismisses the charge. Police say a Wenatchee man admitted to drawing a semi-automatic handgun and working the slide to intimidate a neighbor. 21-year-old Jonathan D. Marvin was arrested late Friday at his apartment on Central Avenue. The neighbor accused Marvin of pointing the weapon at his chest at about 10:45 in the evening and saying, "Next time, I'm going to shoot you." When questioned by police, Marvin allegedly denied aiming the gun or making the threat, but he did admit brandishing the 9mm pistol and working the slide. Police say the two men had prior conflicts over noise and other complaints. Court records show that they removed 2 shotguns, 4 rifles, and 2 handguns from Marvin's residence. A 15-year-old driver on a learner's permit allegedly crashed into a Chelan County Sheriff's deputy who was towing a boat. This happened Tuesday, caused an accident, delayed traffic on the east edge of Leavenworth for quite some time. The Washington State Patrol says the deputy was westbound on Highway 2 about 11:45 in the morning when the teen driver turned left into the SUV's path. The deputy had a green light, had the right-of-way. The young driver, who had a learner's permit and a licensed passenger, suffered minor injuries. Neither was taken to the hospital. Troopers would not identify either driver in the crash. Sheriff's Chief of Special Operations, Jason Reinfeld, said the deputy was towing the department's Swift water rescue boat at the time of the accident, which delayed traffic in and around the Leavenworth area for about an hour and a half. Well, Founders Day in Cashmere has become the latest summer festival in North Central Washington to be canceled because of the COVID-19 concerns. The festival had been scheduled for June 26th and 27th, but the Cashmere Chamber of Commerce said with the extension of the governor's ban on large gatherings, it was simply not going to happen. Also yesterday, by the way, the North Central Washington Fair announced the 3rd of July Bull Bash in Waterville has also been canceled. Our Valley, Our Future, the nonprofit team that's focusing on growth and equity in the Wenatchee Valley, wants to hear how COVID-19 has affected your social and economic well-being. The group launched a community survey to gauge how the pandemic has affected local residents and to seek ideas on ways for the region to recover. You can view that survey and participate at the website ourvalleyourfuture.org or on the group's Facebook page. Our Valley, Our Future's director, Steve Maher, was recently appointed to the task force by Governor Jay Inslee to help prepare for the statewide recovery. Quite the scene on Monday, the Wenatchee Valley and Garlini's restaurant coming together for an event that turned something very special just when the community needed it. Check this cool video out.
On a mission to feed 1,000 people. We ended up feeding over 1,300. No one got turned away. We had an amazing community event. We still have some cash to count, very generous donations from our community, but I really think that we hit our goal of raising over $10,000 for Serve Wenatchee.
Cars started lining up at 3:15, so we knew this was going to be big. We know not only is the Valley hungry to eat, but they're hungry to give, even in times that it's hard. Right now, we've watching about every car has given some sort of money, whether it's a couple dollars or 20 or whatever. So far, we're probably up to $3,000 to $5,000 at least. Our goal is to hit 10,000.
I am Tom Neese. I serve as the Executive Director at Serve Wenatchee Valley. Serve Wenatchee Valley is an organization that is really narrowly focused on helping families in our community stay in their homes. We're meeting during this COVID-19 outbreak some very basic needs of food. We're also able to provide some rent assistance and utility assistance.
Again, I think when you look at what's going on in this parking lot and in and around trying to get in this parking lot, it really sends a message of not only the generosity of our community, but also the vulnerability of our community.
100% of the donations that are received tonight are going directly into the needs and the families and the homes that we serve here in the community. We don't do this alone. We do this because this generous community rallies around and simply answers the question, what are we going to do today, with a very simple answer: anything we can.
We know that we've got some difficult times coming in our community as we restart our economy and what that looks like. But one thing that we really feel strongly about is that if we work together and we come together, that we come out of this thing together.
Good stuff from Garlini's, and it's good stuff from Garlini's. All of a sudden, I want pasta. One last item of business to get to. The North Cascades Highway, State Route 20, opened to through traffic yesterday morning at about 10 o'clock. However, the North Cascades National Park is closed to all visitors. I've traveled on the North Cascades Highway any number of occasions. It's a beautiful drive. But the facilities off the highway are limited, so you want to plan accordingly if you want to take that trip on Highway 20 at the top of the state. You can now do so. The North Cascades Highway is open. Just remember, you can't go to the park. Still closed, but that's good news for our folks, friends in Mazama and Winthrop and the loggers. A lot of loggers use that highway to deliver their goods. All right, that's a look at what's making headlines on this Wednesday morning. Once again, the award-winning news crew. Have we won an award? Yeah, I'll just print one up on my computer. The news crew is putting together the news for you. We air it at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Also available on demand on our website. And with a preview of some of the stories we're working on, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll tell you about a crash in Leavenworth yesterday involving a Chelan County Sheriff's deputy. More rain in the forecast. I'll have your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And staying home and continuing to stay healthy, Eric Granstrom will have a look at sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
I will be there, Grant. It's appointment television for me. I hope it's appointment television for you. And if you have a news tip, or if you just want to drop us a line and say hi, we give you lots of different tools in the toolbox. It's at the bottom of your screen. You can go to our Facebook page and drop us a line via Facebook Messenger if you so desire. You can go right to our website, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon at the top of the screen. You can either submit a news tip or drop us a line, or you can just email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. Going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking college football. When will they might be getting going again? NBA basketball. When they might be getting going again? Major League Baseball. More unknowns than knowns. Sports is a minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett, and I urge all of you to stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe. Governor Inslee has asked all Washingtonians to stay home. That's the only way we're going to successfully fight the coronavirus. Uniformed officers won't ticket you, fine you, or arrest you for being on the roads. We want to educate you. You can help our community and the already thinly stretched healthcare professionals by staying home. I know that this community will do all it can to help get us through this pandemic. Thank you, and be well.
Hi, my name is Blaine Johnson. I'm at Global Elite Motors. We're tied in with Global Car Care down here locally. So we're not your typical car buying experience. Somebody can come down here, take a look at what we have, and if we have the right vehicle for you, we'd be glad to help you out with it. A lot of times we are able to go out and find specific vehicles for somebody so that it fits their needs, their budget, and all the things that you want without you being obligated right away. If you're looking for a good, reliable car, come see me, Blaine Johnson, down at Global Elite Motors.
21 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday. If you're just joining us, we have quite a bit of sunshine. We just dropped down, 52 degrees. Mixture of clouds and sun. We'll be in the lower 70s today with a mixture of clouds and sun, but there is a chance of some thunderstorms and some lightning on Thursday afternoon. Let's talk about sports. Of course, sports continues to suffer under the cloud of uncertainty that is the coronavirus pandemic. We have more questions and answers. One question plaguing colleges is whether sports can resume if there's no school. The campuses are closed. Are they supposed to be doing sports or not? University of Washington football coach Jimmy Lake says he'd like the NCAA to step up and set a date for the entire nation. They had a conference call of Pac-12 college football coaches on Tuesday, and Lake said he would prefer for all the major college teams to start at the same time. He said, quote, "I'm of the opinion it would be great if the NCAA made a blanket rule for the whole nation of when we would start, and I understand some states may be hit less by this than most. I believe the NCAA should step in and say, okay, here's the date where everybody can start," end quote. Well, the president of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, says that his organization is not going to go that route. He said leaving the decisions on a state to start dates to state officials and university presidents are the way to go. And the simple reason is that, it depends state by state on how they are responding to the pandemic. Arizona is opening up to team sports. Oregon is not. The governor of Oregon, Kate Brown, said they probably won't open up her state for sports until probably October. So just within the Pac-12, we got 6 different states involved with 6 different approaches that could impact competitive fairness. There's also the question of whether sports can resume at colleges and universities if colleges and universities, their campuses are closed. I mean, the universal feeling is if the campuses are closed, that means they're closed to everybody, including student athletes. The NBA Players Association polled its players on Tuesday whether they want to return to play this season. The answer, by the way, is yes. No surprise there. ESPN's Adrian Wojciechowski is reporting that a conference call between the NBA Commissioner, Adam Silver, and the Board of Governors late Tuesday was positively leaning towards a return to play. Now, according to the article, owners and executives on the call were encouraged about the league's progress towards minimizing health risk upon a return. They also were enthusiastic about the result of a text poll of all 450 NBA players on their desire to restart the season. It sounds more and more like the league, if it does resume, would be in a bubble isolation play in a campus environment. So all the players would be in one location, say in Orlando or maybe Las Vegas. A decision on a return is not expected, however, for a while, maybe a couple of weeks. What about Major League Baseball? Not a lot to talk about yet today. Things were pretty quiet on the front yesterday. They had a conference call. They did. It was a 3 to 4 hour meeting. It covered specifics of a plan to begin spring training in June with a shortened season beginning around Independence Day. According to sources, one large item that wasn't discussed was an economic proposal, which is expected to be a sticking point, as you might imagine. Major League owners gave the go-ahead Monday for a proposal that the players receive a percentage of their 2020 salaries based on a 50-50 split of revenues. At this point, it seems fans are much closer to either watching NBA games and Major League Baseball, neither of which would be in person until maybe August or even September. Finally, a reminder of what we have coming up on our sports broadcast here on the NCAA Life channel. If you weren't around the Valley back in 2018, you missed a great run by the Wenatchee Wild through the playoffs. Tomorrow night is a rebroadcast of Game 5 of the Fred Page Cup playoff series between the Wild and Prince George. Arch Ecker with the call at 7 o'clock. Again, that's Thursday, which is always hockey night here. Friday's great game of our past features girls soccer from last October. Man, it was cold in Cashmere. Cascade and Cashmere went at it. Saturday's doubleheader, all about baseball. First up is Wenatchee and Moses Lake baseball from May of 2017. Then we'll have Wenatchee Apple Sox baseball from last July against the Portland Pickles. Then on Sunday, kick back and enjoy last November's state girls soccer playoffs between Eastmont and Meade. We had that at 2 o'clock, and then we can watch Wenatchee Wild hockey against West Kelowna, that game from last October. You can watch that Sunday night at 7. And that's sports on this Wednesday at 25 minutes after the hour. I had six different obscure holidays to choose from. Today is National Crouton Day. Today is National Frog Jumping Day. Today is National Fruit Cocktail Day. Today is National Receptionists Day. We don't have a receptionist here. We have a Director of First Impressions. Much more important title. Today is National Third Shift Workers Day. I once had a job where you had to work the third shift. Ugh, I hated that. But no, it's National Apple Pie Day. Now I know I try to avoid the food holidays when we get to the obscure holiday section of this program, but it's apple pie, for crying out loud. Everybody's favorite dessert. I had apple pie for dessert last night. I think I had apple pie for dinner. The very first apple pie recipe was printed in England in 1381. Apple pie goes back a long way. Why it became such an American thing, as American as apple pie, nobody really knows. I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, remember Chevrolet had that advertising slogan back in the 70s and 80s. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. I love baseball. I love hot dogs. I love apple pie. I got nothing against Chevrolet, although I've never owned one. It's apple pie. Can't go wrong with that. One of the nice things about apple pie, even if you put a bunch of stuff in it, it's still apples in the end. And apples are good for you. Have an apple pie today. Have two. I can never know which is the right apple. I've never made an apple pie. I just eat other people's apple pie. I don't think I've ever had a bad one. Happy National Apple Pie Day. By the way, this holiday is so popular. There's actually two of them each year. So stay tuned in October for National Apple Pie Day Part 2. 27 minutes after the hour today in history. The Phony War came to an end on this day. That's what they called it, the Phony War. Of course, the Nazis invaded Poland in September of 1939. World War II was underway. They commenced to choose up sides. Okay, we got the Nazis, Fascist Italy, and the Imperial Japanese. That's one side. And then we got the other side, the Allies. And here we go. And then nothing happened. Nothing happened in October, November, December, January, all the way into May of 1940. And then the Phony War came to an end because Germany said, yeah, France, you're next. We're coming after you. Germany crossed into France, and the Phony War wasn't phony anymore. By the end of the week, Neville Chamberlain was out of a job. Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of Great Britain. He gave his famous blood, toil, tears, and sweat speech to Parliament, and World War II really got going when the Phony War came to an end on this date 80 years ago today, May 13th, 1940. May 13th, 1981, 39 years ago today, I remember this very well. Mahet Ali Agha attempted to assassinate the Pope, Pope John Paul II, while he was riding through his Pope-mobile at St. Peter's Square in Rome. The Pope was rushed to surgery. He survived. He, of course, later forgave the man who tried to assassinate him, and it changed the Pope's security detail. As you might imagine, the Pope-mobile wasn't open anymore after that. He was in the enclosed Pope-mobile. Somebody tried to kill the Pope 39 years ago today. Failed. And finally, 44 years ago today, it was May 13th, 1976, the merger between the ABA and the NBA was a done deal. The ABA was going to take their 4 best teams and move them over to the NBA. It was all over for the ABA, but they still had a championship series to play. And the New York Nets defeated the Denver Nuggets 112-106 to win the final ABA championship, the final ABA game ever played. And here's how it ended.
Skinner has the ball. 5 seconds to the championship. Hit Jones. It's all over. It's all over with 3 seconds to go. And the crowd storms onto the court. 1 second. The clock is out and the ball game's over. Pandemonium as the New York Nets win 112-106.
By the way, Denver had a 22-point lead in that game, and they blew it. The last game in history of the late lamented ABA played on this date back in 1976. It's the bottom of the hour. Birthdays. Named by Ring Magazine as the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time, Joe Louis was born in this state in 1914. The Pride of Detroit died at the age of 66 in 1981. His all-time fight record, 66-3. He was the heavyweight champion of the world back when that meant something, from 1937 to 1949. And Joe Louis was famous for 2 very great quotes in the world of boxing. He can run, but he can't hide. and everybody has a plan until they get hit. Joe Louis, one of the greatest boxers ever, born in the state of 1914. I don't know what to say about Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is 70 years old today. He is the youngest living inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was only 38 years old when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 1989. There are any number of essential Stevie Wonder albums. Music of My Mind, Talking Book needs to be in everybody's record collection. Intervisions, Songs in the Key of Life. He's 25 Grammy Awards, is the most ever by a solo artist, and he is a legend among legends. We love Stevie Wonder, and he is 70 years old today. Guess what I'll be listening to when I get home today? And finally, Stephen Colbert, who of course hosted the Colbert Report on Comedy Central for any number of years, and has been hosting The Late Show with Stephen Colbert for the last 5 years on CBS. Stephen Colbert, very funny guy. He's 56 years old today. Happy birthday, Stephen. All right, 31 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Mike Magnotti's got an opinion, because Mike Magnotti's got an opinion. And then my conversation with Alan Walker, the Executive Director of the Community Action Council, the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. They have been right there from the get-go in the COVID-19 pandemic, and we'll catch up with Alan when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse? Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs. Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Succession is leading the way for a new generation of Chelan wineries. Named Platinum Winemaker of the Year in 2017 and the one to watch in 2018 by Wine Press, Succession is setting the pace. Award-winning wines are just a part of the overall experience. Add live music on Sundays and fantastic views, and you have it all. Succession Wines, located on the north shore of Lake Chelan between Chelan and Manson.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, when I was a cop in Wenatchee for 20 years, I have to admit, I'm a junkie for TV shows, was then, am now. TV shows and movies. I have seen every episode of Hill Street Blues, every episode of Law and Order, Blue Bloods, and NYPD Blue. Now, I've watched these things so often that my wife thinks I'm demented. And the one thing I've noticed about all these shows, the one common denominator is that it is incredibly easy to handcuff people on TV. I don't care what the bad guy is doing, fighting, running. As soon as they're tackled or thrown to the ground or pushed against a fence, their hands immediately go behind their back. And then the cuffs are applied effortlessly. It's like a miracle. Too bad it wasn't like that in real life. Shit. This is Mike Mad Dog Big Daddy, and that's my opinion.
Nissan is the value leader in new cars and SUVs. Check out these new models starting at under $20,000. The all-new Versa from $17,020. The all-new Sentra from $17,400. And the all-new Kicks from $17,995. Now you can have the Nissan style, performance, and reliability, all for under $20,000.
And they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
You want to help others. You need a solid career. You can have both with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, stop by our campus at 595 Grant Road across from Safeway or visit chartercollege.edu.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Chelan, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
I am ready.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn up my IFP just a little bit. Interview with Alan Walker. Here we go, Alan. In 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The social distancing guidelines has affected everybody. Hold tight just a minute. We're going to do that one again because my phone rang. We'll do this again. Are you ready again, Alan? Sorry about that, Uriah. Here we go.
I'm ready again.
Second time around. In 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, as you know by now. Whenever we do our guest interview segment on this award-winning program, we've been doing it via Skype as we practice social distancing. The gentleman that you see on your screen is no stranger to this program. Alan Walker is the executive director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. And I don't even know where to begin, Alan, except one day in the middle of March, everything was normal for you guys, as normal as any work day can be. And then the next day, it wasn't. So I guess my first question is, as we talk today, Alan, how are things at the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council as of today?
As of today, things are going very well for us. We've had, like a lot of other businesses, a complete change in our operation in a 24-hour window. Our staff was incredible, and they responded to that challenge. And we spent time getting staff up and working remotely. Everybody is still working in our office, so that is good. Most people are working remotely. Some people are still working where they normally would be. That's especially true with our food distribution system.
And I guess that's a good place to go. How are we doing with the food distribution center? And I want, before we go any further than that, a huge shout out to the Town Toyota Center, because they actually had the infrastructure, big refrigerators, big size freezers to store the food. Where are we now in the food distribution section of your work?
So yes, huge shout out to the Town Toyota Center. Their space has been just critical to us. Yes, they do have some freezer and storage capacity. We're not using that at the center. We're using their arena for storage of dry goods, and U.S. Foods has donated a refrigerator trailer for us, so we have that parked there. And then we also have large cooler and freezer storage at our normal warehouse. But without the Town Toyota Center, we would not be able to do what we are doing today. That's without a doubt. Our food supply actually is going very well. We've received, by the end of today, this week alone, 4 semi-loads of food. We received 40,000 pounds of potatoes from the Washington Potato Commission yesterday. They donated a semi-load of potatoes for us, which sounds like a lot of potatoes until you start handing them out. And that 40,000 pounds of potatoes will last us about a week and a half. So it does go very quickly, but we're staying on top of it. We have a shipment coming in later this afternoon from AMI Industries. They provide ready meals for the airlines, and we've been able to secure a couple semi-loads of food from them as well, and they'll be ready to cook meals.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of food, but you guys have been giving away more food than you ever have before. I mean, what's the percentage increase from what would be a normal food distribution handout from the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council to what you're doing now? Is it threefold, fivefold, tenfold?
Certainly about threefold would be my guess. Typically, we do about 35,000 pounds of food a week. Now we're doing 85 to 90. So it's almost a threefold in the distribution process of food going out the door. So it takes a lot of food. We are still receiving our regular supply of food from our providers in the state, the Northwest Harvest and Second Harvest folks, but we are having to buy food as well, primarily meat products. And then there's folks like the Potato Commission coming through with potatoes. We received about 10,000 pounds of onions out of Quincy. We're also able to buy some local produce as well. There's a local asparagus farmer. We purchased 1,000 pounds of asparagus from them. So trying to help out our local farmers whenever we possibly can as well.
So you mentioned you're buying meat because meat's one of those things that has a limited shelf life. You got to buy it and then move it on out the door. What are the other food items that your organization is having to purchase instead of having it donated from various agricultural organizations?
Some of the fresh produce, some of the onions we purchased, they donated some and we purchased some from them. The asparagus we purchased as well. So some of the fresh produce items, we're still receiving apples and oranges. We received grapefruits this week. Eggs have been coming in. We've had a good supply of eggs that have been donated from the two entities that I mentioned earlier. So it really is the meat products. And in fact, just before we got on this, started our visit this morning, visited with a gentleman, our contact with U.S. Foods that we've been buying meat products through. And he was saying processors across the country are operating at about 25%. So the meat industry is very challenged right now, and it's becoming more challenging to make large purchases.
What can we do? I mean, I know it sounds like it's a big umbrella question, Alan, but as soon as this outbreak really took hold and people realized things are going to change and change dramatically and are going to change for quite some time, a lot of people reached out to me and said, I have the wherewithal, I have money, or I have this or that. Who do I get a hold of? How can I help? And I'll ask you that question right now, Alan. How can we help you specifically, your organization?
Right. The donations are huge. The community really has responded, and we've been averaging over the last 4 or 5 weeks, several $1,000s a week from the community and donating cash. And that's really what we need, to be quite honest. We've been talking about the quantities of food we're distributing, and so someone going to the grocery store and picking up a few extra items, under normal circumstances, it's greatly appreciated. But at this point in time, it's those large quantities that we are purchasing. So cash is greatly appreciated. And also for not just for the food distribution system, but also for rental assistance. That's an area where we really struggle to secure funding, And so we have folks calling, looking for rental assistance. We're trying to work with some of our local partners, local government entities to secure some funding to help people. But that's an area that we're seeing an increased need. And of course, there's no eviction notices or anything like that can occur right now. But if somebody gets a couple months behind on their rent or on their mortgage, and all of a sudden they have to come up with 3 or 4 months in a very short time frame, just is not going to be. People just aren't going to be able to do that.
I understand. What about energy assistance? I know you help out with that, helping people. Where are we on that?
Yeah. Energy assistance, we're doing actually pretty well. We have received some emergency funding through the federal government as part of the CARES Act. There are some utility assistance dollars included in that, so we are receiving that. And the Chelan PUD has been really helpful for us over the years with their helping hands. I guess I should say the community has been very generous over the years with the Helping Hands program. And so there's a good funding source that we have through the Chelan County PUD, and then with our federal dollars, we're helping folks out in Douglas County as well. So we're doing pretty good with utility assistance. Some of the federal funding that we anticipate will be coming through, they classify it as income assistance funding. And so we can really tailor that to what people are needing. Is it for rent? Is it for mortgage? Or is it for utility? And having that kind of flexibility with funding is really helpful for us.
Luckily, your organization badly needed at all times, but needed more than ever right now. You've been able to avoid layoffs. Everybody who was working at the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council continues to work there. How's morale for your organization?
Yeah, actually, it's going really well. We have 6 program directors, and we do one-on-one calls with them every week. We then also do group calls with all of our program directors every week. And then we also do a all-staff call. And so we pull all 25 of our staff members to call together once a week for a call. So we're trying to keep that communication flowing. We're trying to let folks know that we're here, we're supporting them, and everybody's morale seems to be really good that have been there.
I asked you once before about how people can help, and obviously money goes a long way. The purchasing power the organization has is really remarkable. What about people who they don't necessarily have the wherewithal to give you money, but they have a good, strong back and they got time in their hands now? They just want to help out from a labor standpoint or a volunteer standpoint on wherever it is that the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council needs. How do they go about doing that?
Right now, we were using volunteers earlier on, and then we've been very fortunate, and we have 21 National Guard members here helping us with our food distribution system. So, and along with the National Guard, they also come with 3 large box trucks. And so they've added to our fleet and our ability to make deliveries. And so once we had the full guard here, we pulled the volunteers out of the process. Really, we had to show that we needed the guard, if you will. And so we pulled our volunteers out and replaced the volunteers with the National Guard members. And we have, in fact, I was just speaking with Lieutenant this morning as well, and with our National Guard members, and they're deployed until June 24th. And it sounds like if we feel we need them beyond that date, that we can make that request as well. We're hoping, like everybody else, that we're getting back to some kind of normalcy towards the end of June. At that point in time, we may be looking for volunteers from the community again.
Let's use the end of June as kind of a measuring stick, if you will. As we transition and we get past this, and we all hope that we get past this sooner rather than later. What are you going to take away from all of this, Alan? Because this must have been the last 8-10 weeks must have been extremely difficult for you. When this is all said and done, what are you taking away from this, both from a personal standpoint and from your organization?
I think from a personal standpoint, it's resiliency, and maybe for the organization as well. And how do we adapt quickly to change, As I mentioned when we first started talking, we literally flipped our operation in 24 hours as to how we provide services, and that took an incredible staff resiliency and adaptation to do that. Personally, I think I take away that, don't take anything for granted, right, Dan? I mean, everything can change in our lives and way beyond our control there. And so, but how do we adjust and how do we adapt and how do we proceed on? How do we continue to care for our neighbors far and wide? And I think that's really what I've taken away from that. From an organization, it's the ability to respond, and how do we change processes? How do we get processes in place in a quick fashion? And we were able to do that. And that speaks volumes to our staff and their willingness to make those changes. And then also to our board. We had to reach out to our board of directors early on with some new policies and procedures that we need to get in place. And as you're changing some of those things, some of them require board approval, according to our bylaws and things like that we need to follow. And our board was very responsive to that and willing to come together on a very short time frame and get some things approved so that we could continue to provide the services that we're able to do.
We've talked about this before, Alan, when you and I have been able to visit in person, and hopefully we'll be able to do so again soon. You and I always stressed that there was a sizable group in our community who was basically living paycheck to paycheck. They were making ends meet, but they were one bad thing from happening to start the downward spiral, regardless of what it may be. A traffic accident, now I can't go to work, or Billy fell down and broke his arm and now I got a hospital bill. People are more aware of that now more than ever before, aren't they?
Very much so, and it's kind of interesting. I noticed it right at the 1st of May when at the food various we're delivering to 12 different food distribution locations every week, and I found it interesting the number of cars that were coming through that had new tabs purchased in April. And so people were wanting to keep their vehicle in operating and have the tabs on and in place so they could continue to drive and keep the vehicle legal. But they were using that money then, and they didn't have other dollars perhaps to purchase food. And I just found that kind of interesting. The number of cars that had new tabs in March and April, the first week of May. Yeah.
Alan, one last question, I'll cut you loose. Again, we're talking to Alan Walker, the Executive Director of the Chelan Community Action Council. I've already asked you how people out there can help you. For those people who have never needed your services, and now they do. I've never needed rent assistance before. Now I do. I've never had to worry about filling the refrigerator with groceries. Now I do. How do the people who need your services and your professionalism go about doing it, Alan?
Good news is it's easier now than it's ever been before. That is one of the things that has resulted from this, that some barriers that we have really fought to have removed and accessing services have been removed. So that's really nice. People can reach out either through our phone, 662-6256. They can also visit our website, and on our website we have a list of all the food distribution locations, days of the week, and the times. It's a very easy process for people to come through and receive food from us. You're absolutely right. We have every time at every location, we have people that it's the first time for them, and we make it as easy and as enjoyable of a process as we possibly can. And for our energy assistance, it's very easy. It's all done over the phone process. Items can be emailed, they can be taken a photo of and texted to us or emailed to us. They can be dropped off at the office through a mail slot. They can be mailed. We just are really making it as easy as possible for people to access services.
Alan Walker is the Executive Director of the Chelan Community Action Council. Do you have any message at all, Alan, from you to the folks of the Wenatchee Valley before we cut you loose? I'll let you have the last word.
Thank you, Dan. I say just really encourage everybody to continue to stay safe. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask. we will do everything we can to provide you with assistance that you need. If it's something as easy as food, that is the easiest thing to access right now. There are no questions asked. You simply pull up, we open the door, and we put 40 pounds of food in your backseat or in your trunk or whatever that looks like. So don't hesitate to ask if you need help right now. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel that you're not, that you might not be worthy or that you don't need it. Please just take the opportunity.
Alan, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I can't wait to have a chance to sit down and visit with you in person. Yeah, instead of on
Look
Skype.
forward to it.
And unlike me, you don't need a haircut.
I'm doing really good in the hair arena. My wife, on the other hand, is not quite so happy right now. I think she was scheduled for a haircut like March 20th, and yeah.
Alan, it's always good to see you. Say hi to your lovely for me and the dog, and we'll talk to you really soon, okay, bud?
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate you getting the word out.
Yep, no problem. And anytime you need me, you know where to find me.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Alan. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we're out. That's it. Thanks.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive. No nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
Need a break from reality? Central Washington Water has a showroom full of possibilities, with service and support to keep you soaking and giving you the absolute best ownership experience. Free flow plug and go spas for as little as $45 a month. There's a hot tub for everyone at Central Washington Water. Shop screen to screen, in store, or a backyard consultation with one of our wellness team members. Central Washington Water, your water experts.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Let's wrap up this award-winning program with one more look at the weather forecast from the National Weather Service. We're going to be all over the place. We got it all. You want active weather? We got active weather. Clouds and sun will do battle today. Hopefully the sun will get the best of that. We'll top off at about 71 degrees. No real rain expected today. Slight chance of rain tonight. Lots of clouds. 50 for the overnight low. Start talking some showers Thursday, and late afternoon thunderstorms is not out of the question. Everybody's going to get some rain tomorrow. It's going to be widespread rain, nothing really big dumping, but kind of off and on rain pretty much all day. Best chance of some late afternoon thunderstorms right around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll get up to about 67 degrees. And we mentioned this before, we'll mention this again. They're not anticipating strong thunderstorms or severe thunderstorms with significant rain. The big concern on Thursday and then again on Sunday, as you can see graphically represented there, is lightning. That's the big concern with some late afternoon thunderstorms both Thursday and Sunday. We have a beautiful Friday in store for us. Saturday, not bad. Cloudy, but no rain. And then more rain. And again, a late afternoon thunderstorm cannot be ruled out on Sunday. So that's a look at your forecast. Thanks for starting your day with us. Have a good Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.